Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We're going into another Flash Terran versus Protoss. Now, this is where I think things are going to start to get very exciting, right? Like we already saw some Flash games against Protoss, against Bisu, and against Bisu and Motive specifically, right? And those were some earlier games, but like really when you're coming back into shape, rediscovering a meta, each and every day is going to make a big difference in how you're playing, and even each game can make a big difference, right? So here's Flash going up against Dick Noob. Dick Noob, this is not the noob that has been in ASL. There's two high-level Protoss players that use the ID Noob, because why not? It's just, you can't find worse branding than the Korean StarCraft players. But yeah, I believe this one is more known as Stone sometimes. But anyways, definitely everyone knows this guy. Very, very high level, 2600 MMR easy. You know, he's in all the qualifiers and stuff all the time. And we're on Citadel. So we're going to see how Flash adjusts his play. Oh my God, he's got the Mihu Depot. This is already like... Right, if you guys, for those of you who watch each and every day, I did mention this before. It's not exactly the Mihu Depot because it's not a two-player map, but throwing that depot off to the side, not utilizing it defensively with the barracks. Well, the thing is, if you're going to go for a barracks out in the front because you want to go gasless expand, you don't send the SCV out to make the depot generally. It screws up your mining a little bit. So he just builds it back here. We might see his second depot come up here. Not entirely sure. Either way, Noob right now is not making a Zealot. We'll see if he starts one here after that Cybernetics core. If he does, that could be very helpful for him if it goes in the right direction. But yeah, Flash going for that gasless expansion once again. Not too surprised. You know, okay, so let me mention a few things, okay? Now, I don't think that this is 100% the case anymore. There's like some older videos that Flash has made teaching about various build orders for Terran. And like, I remember Flash saying a very long time ago, something to the effect of factory expand should only really be used because it can kill Nexus first, right? Like it can kill the Nexus from Nexus first. Okay. Now, I don't think that that's completely the case anymore, especially if you look at some of these builds, like what Bisu did against C in ASL, where he just completely stomped like a pretty well-defended Nexus first with a proxy robo, that type of play, right? We've seen Snow do that as well. I don't think that that is all completely the case. But there is absolutely something to what Flash has said about like gasless expand. It gets you a better economy, right? And that's Flash's focus. Look at how much quicker his command center is. Look at that command center timing, and look at that Nexus timing. So, anyways, I just want to put that out there that like he might be looking at this and saying, okay, I want to do mostly gas expands. And the thing is, the gasless expands. Now, I'll try to get through this, guys. I know I'm kind of long-winded with these explanations sometimes, but look at this, right? If he's doing heavily gasless expansions, right? Now, I mentioned before, Zealots can really ruin this type of thing, but if the meta is non-Zealot based, then this is the best build, right, for Terran to open up with. And it does okay against a Nexus first as well, just to mention, right? So Flash can kind of like force possibly the meta back towards this, which will force more Zealots and more early aggression, which, you know, you can then rotate back to factory expansions. Also, Protoss players have become unbelievably strong at blocking Marine Vulture SCV attacks. If they go 2-gate at this point, it doesn't make sense, because if they make the 2 first Zealots, then you're going to be in terrible shape trying to attack them because they'll probably hold it. Okay, that's kind of my explanation. I find it interesting, though, that he's doing this pretty heavily right now. So, armory on the way. Just one factory armory, very fast second gas. He gets in here and scouts. He sees 2-gate robo with his SCV. So he knows he doesn't need missile turrets particularly quickly. This looks like it will be a quick shuttle. In fact, this shuttle is so fast I wonder if he's going to ferry Dragoons up into the main base. That could be. It could just be he's trying to optimize Shuttle, Observer, Reaver, and it probably will be that either way, but that Shuttle is super fast, guys. So, be interesting to see where he wants to utilize that. Siege mode on the way with the Siege Tank, second factory. So, already this is super well optimized. Academy coming up quickly as well, because you never know, your opponent could be dumb and go directly into DTs after you scout or something like that. But also, this is going to be to pick off observers. I wonder if he's going to line this up into upgrade Terran. I really do. Now, he brings down the Siege Tank, gets the SCVs into position for a repair. Really great SimCity here. You can see how he moved his barracks forward a little bit, and now Siege is up. And he is waiting for that Reaver, by the way. Range almost done. And Siege mode actually done before range there. Kind of crazy. Flash is... Look at Flash being up 11 SCVs. That's insane. Okay, tries to poke. Dude, like, just looking at the optimizations from both sides, look at how far ahead Flash is right now. I don't remember the last game I casted where the Terran just... Like, look at that. These are... I've seen this in reverse plenty of times where, like, Protoss gets a quick Nexus and I'm just like, wow, guys, like, he's just really far behind. Really, if you dig through all the TVPs I've cast on this channel, and it is quite a few, you're not going to find many games where... Dude, this is a sub 7-minute command center. Guys, I'm sorry. This is insane what we're watching right now. Now, once again, Noob is not an ASL level player. He's right outside of there, but everyone knows him. He's very good. He can and does beat pros all the time. Just a very strong amateur Protoss. But like right now, Flash is so up in workers. He's getting this 2017 speed command center. Look at this. Dives in now with the Reaver. The Reaver gets picked off so quickly. Now, that is a lot of Dragoons. The Dragoon's pushing forward, and he's just kind of aping his way in right now. He does pick off those two front siege tanks. He's going to pick off both those siege tanks as well, and suddenly, Flash in a bit of trouble. It looked like he was so ahead. It looked like he was optimizing so well, and then Noob comes in and ruins his day with this attack. That armory actually helps a lot and slows those Dragoons down from going behind. Continuing to drill, another siege tank comes out, and this is not the first time we've seen something like this happen in Flash, but look at the way he blocks the Dragoons in. He is going to end up killing every single Dragoon, but now we're in a very different game state than where we were moments ago. It looked fantastic for Flash, and he was up like at one point 11 workers. Now Flash is down 4 workers. Okay, he only has 3 factories, so he can't rebuild that army very easily. It looks like he wants to go towards upgrade Terran, but it's a little bit late now. So, you know, his 2-1 isn't going to be at full speed. He has a 3rd command center. Okay, he can probably go out and take the 3rd command center. That's one very good thing if he can do that. Now, he's got to be careful here. If he loses these... Dude, once again, running forward. Oh, and that's good micro. Yeah, he's going to kill both the siege tanks once again. So, it's wild, okay? I'm kind of getting some chills here because what we're watching is Flash is trying to force this older style to work, and we saw moments ago, like if we rewind 3 minutes, Flash, you look at the numbers and Flash is way ahead. But then we see Noob come in with the very aggressive type plays of reducing that siege tank count, and it works like a charm, right? Like, he gets the siege tank count way low. The factory count is super low for this. Every modern TVP right now, you've already had 5 factories up for a bit, right? Like, so, yeah, it's just, we're seeing, like, Flash get hurt by the things that hurt this build, but we're also seeing him kind of get ahead and kind of stay alive through that. So you can definitely see him starting to figure out different ways to play in this metagame. He's definitely working on it. Like, this is very clear. Now, the range Goliaths come up, and they do target down that shuttle, very importantly. These Dragoons do pick off 2 more siege tanks. So still a little bit of damage being taken there by Flash. Like, he's able to hold on. He has the 3 bases up. He has +2, +1 on the way. Excuse me. Only 3 factories still. 4th Nexus almost done. It's a pretty significant probe advantage for Noob right now. Now, I feel like Noob... Yeah, okay, so you can see he's been on 4 gates the whole time, and he's going to add a ton of gateways. He needs to go into Psystorm as well, I believe. Like, that's... Okay, and he actually just started the Temple Archives right after I said that. Like, this is the time where it's like, okay, you've done good damage. Now mass up like crazy, right? He's going to have the 4 bases, and he took this 4th base towards Flash, so this is very pushable. So what we need to see is Zealot Legs, Psystorm, just a huge massing of units. I don't want to really see him dive in again. I think that Flash is going to have everything sewn up tight at this point. He's starting to add some factories. These are extremely late factories, but we've had a wild game and he has comsats, so he knows that these gates are just coming online. Like, for instance, if these gates were just coming online and you were just making these facts, 100% of the time you lose, right? You really have to look at the production facility counts in the early game. And there's so much about just kind of trying to equal what your opponent is doing. Like, if you scan, let's say you have 3 factories and you scan and they already have all these done, you're like, oh, I'm dead, right? Because the amount of supply that they're popping out compared to you, like you're popping out, like, let's call it on average 6 supply every 25 seconds. Here, it's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 supply every 25 seconds on average, right? Like, so you're just going to get run over after a few rounds. Now, Flash is adding those additional factories, so it's like, okay, now he's pumping out 10 supply, and now we're going to get up into 14 supply. So it's like, okay, 14 supply being pumped against 20 supply, that's doable as Terran. You sit in a defensive stance, that's doable. Lays a lot of the mines out in the front. You can see a bunch of depots to soak damage up here as well. Going to be much harder for Zealots to get in. Noob just kind of keeping a group over here. He definitely needs to think about a 5th base. So now that he has Psystorm going, now that he has all the Zealots coming out, this is the time where you want to see Protoss go into a 5th base. Flash is actually floating a 4th command center over. This is so funny. I actually didn't even notice that he had made this. But Flash is going for a 4th CC. So that is... It's just funny because, like, 3 base versus 4 base is fine. 4 base versus 4 base is Terran advantaged. And what you want to do is you want to take your 5th to force them to... I talk about this a lot. You take your 5th base as Protoss, and that forces Terran to either attack you or take a 4th. Flash's 4th is ready. It's floating. It's ready. I think right now he's just getting a little bit of scouting intel, laying a few mines around. We hear a lot of scans going off. He's trying to figure out, okay, where are we at in this game? What does he have? Can I go and land that command center? And look at this, man. Pretty much maxed out. Worker counts, very similar. They're both basically where they want to be on workers. Flash a little bit heavier than what we see oftentimes nowadays, but that's okay with the upgrade Terran. Targeting down some Dragoons with those Vultures, just taking good engagements when he can. He does have that 2-1 upgrade done. Starting 3-2 as well. And now it's all about Flash getting into position. Now, if he waits like one more round, he's pretty much unbreakable. Like, he's at 70 supply, right? So this is a little bit lower. You need 140 supply set up very well to hold off max Protoss, okay? So it's set up very well. He's got enough supply. This is not going to break him. We'll see how much it can reduce. That is a lot of mines, though. I feel like he could have cleared that a little bit better. The Zealots running up, trying to get on top of these Siege Tanks. Drops out some Psystorms. That would be a beautiful Psystorm area. Gets a few on the side. But as the Zealots die, he needs to pull back the Dragoons. Absolutely has to pull back those Dragoons. Runs into some mines up here, still trying to get some damage. So you can see how Flash is suddenly up in supply quite a bit. He's trying to pick off some of these High Templars. And the main problem is he knows that that was Noob's whole army. And he knows that there's only 6 Dragoons left. Right now, the best play for Flash is to attack. You know, Flash can... I think he should seriously just attack down to the south right here. If he just unsieges and goes, I think he just kills this easily, right? So, like, if you kill off the Dragoons, you know they have to make another round. First off, Dragoons take longer, like 7 seconds longer to make than Zealots. Also, without a big Dragoon force, they can't slow down an incoming push. And if they were already making rounds of zealots, then their army is super weak because you don't even have to use siege mode if the dragoon count isn't high, right? Like if it's very zealot high, you just skip it. You're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, Flash being a little bit more careful than that, he gets his base set up. Noob clearing everything. He did make a huge round of dragoons here, so all those things I was talking about, that timing window I think did leave, and I think Flash did miss a little bit of a timing window there where maybe he could have killed that base, and if you kill this base, the game is over. Because he's keeping, like, vultures rotating down here, by the way, and preventing a Nexus from going down. So it's still 4 bases. 4 base versus 4 base. Like, Flash is in a very dominating position right now. He should be able to take this game. Noob right now clearing out some of these mines. He knows he needs that 5th. Such a bad position right now. Brings these vultures out. Yeah, he's going to lay mines in the path back for those dragoons. So it's going to be a little bit annoying. But it looks like observer speed is done. So that's such an important upgrade. You know, I've seen Protosses get it on 2 base. That's insane. But I think you can get it on 3 base and definitely on 4 base. It keeps the observers with the dragoons. Because if you don't have the speed, you lay mines, and as the dragoons come back, they run into them. So the vultures, he just kills. He has +3 attack, so he just sits here and kills off the dragoons, which is kind of funny to see with vultures. But moves like that are extremely good, especially when you have a mineral base. If you can sacrifice vultures to kill off some dragoons, it's absolutely amazing. Anytime that you find units that you can kill off with vultures, it's really good because the vultures at this point in the game are super expendable. If you aren't rotating vultures and utilizing them, your supply actually becomes so vulture heavy that it becomes a detriment. You don't actually want 3 groups of vultures. 2 groups of vultures is correct for most situations. If you end up getting 3 groups, it's like, oh damn, I wish I could have traded these better. Like that's one of the strongest things, trading vultures while building tanks. Now he comes down, he has the 3-2 upgrades, nailing this timing. Just going for it. Noob does not have enough. This should be game. He's like maxed, but look at this. It's all Zealot plus Dragoon. We see, like, where's the Psy Storm? There's basically nothing. He's making Arbiters. He's trying to get into other stuff. But this is not going to end well for him. These heavy Zealot armies, pretty rough. Well, I mean, he's getting on top of the siege tanks a little bit, but GG is called. Flash takes him down. As far as the play goes, like what I was talking about before, we went from Flash being hugely ahead into the Reaver gateway attack, reducing his siege tank count, killing a bunch of SCVs. So, you know, and the thing is, he had built the 3rd command center. So maybe there's something in there, right? Like I can see Flash like treading the line. So let's go to, I'm actually just going to jump back. We're just going to do this because I want to do this. I would do this anyways afterwards and just look at the replay. So I'm going to do it with you guys. So look at this. Ready? Hold on. We're going to get up here because he's about to start a 3rd command center. Okay. So right here. Okay. So if you look at the stats on this game, because like stats on the game are important. These are good places. I would suggest to you guys, like if you're playing a lot and you're trying to get better, I choose like minute marks in the game and we'll write down in a spreadsheet like, okay, in this matchup, I had this many SCVs against this many probes. This was my army, that type of thing. These are good benchmarks. These are good measurements, right? So Flash here has gone, he scouted that it was 2-gate robo. He went quick siege with his gasless expansion, quick armory, quick academy. So already this is a great opener. So I feel like this is the moment of inflection where we can look at the game because already, right, 9 SCV advantage is gigantic. Okay, that is huge. You are winning the game right now. And this is the choice, I think, that may have screwed him up because we see that like a Reaver's on the way. He's taking his 3rd base. This is standard stuff from Protoss. Okay, so if he skips this and instead makes a 3rd factory and goes slightly later, the thing is he's trying to play this very greedy upgrade Terran style, right? This is like a Goliath build for TVP. It's very old. It's very strong, but against the new aggression from Protoss, very hard to pull off, right? So like if you look at this attack that's going to come in, here it comes, right? So if we look at the moments before the attack, so this is right before the attack occurs. Look at this, 7 worker advantage. And his command center is like, you know, almost halfway done. And he only has 2 factories, okay? And he's been building off these steady. So it's like, these are the units that he has. One thing to mention, right? Like he scouted, one of his big optimizations was no eBay. So we have to accept that that is something you're going to need to do with this. When you can is skip that eBay because turrets are expensive, right? The first turret costs 200 minerals because of the eBay. So he's got the Goliaths instead. Okay, so this attack coming in, can he get more units for this exact moment with this build? Not really. Not really, right? The time he started this command center, these take 75 seconds, right? So if it was about finished, he could have a factory. If he had started at the same time as the command center, the thing is he could have started a little bit earlier. So he could technically maybe have like 1 more unit right now if he had made the factory instead of this. So just this upgrade Terran build in general, right, is going to be like kind of low on units overall and not super quick at clearing some of these things, right? Like if you went an eBay with missile turrets, then you'd have your anti-air and maybe you could have additional vultures or something like that. Okay, anyways, this is the moment where Noob actually made the game close, and this is where I think Flash is going to have to look at it, right? If you remember, if you watched several days ago, the video against, I believe it was the game against Motive, where Flash was up here, and he took that 3rd command center, he was floating over, and he was spreading out, and then Motive just kept trading out tanks, and ended up winning that game, right? The same thing is happening to him here. It's the same type of idea, right? Drop out these Zealots, drop out the Reaver. The Reaver actually got cleared after 1 hit, which is super, super fast and great targeting. And still a ton of damage gets dealt, right? He kills off like every tank, kills a bunch of SCVs. Yeah, he loses Dragoons and stuff too, and Flash is not 100% dead, but like, then you're on such a low factory count, and it happens again out here. And the thing is, if this was a slightly better Protoss, if this was best, if this was Snow, Flash loses this game, right? Anyways, this is the interesting area. Okay, like as I cast more games of Flash and watch more games of Flash, this is the type of area of the game. The attempt to get the fast command center with the fewer factories and trying to defend the pushes. This is what I think right now, if I had to guess, gun to my head, Flash is trying to figure out, how do we do this correctly so I can still do the build I want to do to find those incredibly strong timings. Okay. Anyways, that was some of my thoughts on that, guys. I hope you enjoyed the game. Thanks for watching. GG.